Hello, YouTube. It's El Comentario once again, and I'm just doing a quick, brief update in English. I will publish more videos in Spanish, but I felt that um, I wanted to just get some things off my chest off real quick, and the title of this video um, is gonna be focused or called rather the most difficult thing that a man has to accept in life. And one of the things that us incels, and even though I don't like to consider myself an incel, I mean, that's the most best way I can describe it, or true force loneliness. Us men that are in this situation, the most difficult thing for us to accept is the fact that that there's an insurmountable, an overwhelming amount of evidence that affirms the reality that we do live in true force loneliness and that we weren't meant to procreate. And I've spoken previously in my videos about the reality and the facts, so I'm not going to waste the viewer's time and going over it again. If you want to look it up, look at my previous videos or watch other YouTubers about it. But when you know that you weren't meant to procreate and that your biology wasn't meant to carry on your genetic lineage, um, there's only one word that can be described, and it's in Spanish, and it's malvivir, which is to live bad. And there's a verb that I don't know if anyone's created it before. I haven't found it in the Royal Spanish Academy website or dictionary, but I like to say that I created this verb, and it's bien vivir, which is a combination of the word bien and the verb vivir, which is to live well. And I really like this verb is because it describes 110% how I would like to be that guy who has an amazing life, who lives well in the essence of having a romantic relationship. And let me just reiterate that no amount of wealth, money, or sex or anything is is gonna make you feel 100%. What it's gonna make you feel 100% is is um is having good physical, mental health, living a long life, and having family and friends around you, and keeping the faith in the Lord, and not falling to alcohol, drugs, severe addictions to pornography, all that stuff, and other, delinquencies like that. But as a man, you want to procreate. It's in your nature, it's in your DNA, it's what God planted inside of all of us. But what we have to know is that the devil seems to prevail in humanity a lot more than our spirituality is. And the reason why is because I personally believe it's easier to be negative. It's easier to continue to do something and not change who you are as a human being than to be able to move forward and accept the fact that there's something wrong with you, and maybe there's some things that you can change and there's some things that you can't change. What I can't change is the fact that I live in true force loneliness, What I can change is the fact that how I perceive it. And we know that the dating scene is pure evil now. It's wicked, satanic. We know that that young women today in the Western world, it's not like this everywhere in the world, but in the Western world, particularly in the US of A, it's pretty much over for um, subpar, below average, and but ugly men. People they always say, well, why can't you go out with a girl that you think is unattractive? So then it won't be that much of a difficulty for you. But what they don't understand is that that's another vicissitudinous way of thinking. That's another, you know, bizarre way of rationalizing it is because the facts are blatantly obvious. And what's obvious is that um, we see it on social media, we see it everywhere, real life, on the TV, that good looking, good looking guys get with ugly or below average women that may be considered to be in our threshold, that are considered to be in our level of mediocrity because women don't need to deal with true force loneliness. Women can be overweight, they can be very skinny, they can look any type of way, but us men, we fall into that lust, and the woman, the succubus, she uh she possesses us. So that's why, all these self-help videos, all these people online, I'm not going to mention any names, but I think we all know these people that are on YouTube and other social media platforms. They never focus on women's progression. They never focus on a woman's faults. It's always us men that are the fault. And it I think it's kind of been like that since the beginning of time because men are the ones who run the society. We're the ones who hunt the food, we're the ones who bring in the money, and the women take care of the family. Now, I'm not trying to be sexist when I say stuff like this. I'm just saying this is a fact. This is a historical fact. And but we see the roles are changing now to where women, back in our grandparents, great grandparents' day, etc., women back then got with men primarily because of religious reasons, familiar reasons, or economic reasons for survival. And people didn't wear all the licentious, lascivious clothing that they wear now. I mean, yes, there was prostitution, there was, all these things, but it was frowned upon for the most part. Uh, what is it called? Um, Sexual relationships outside of matrimony was frowned upon. Um, what was it? Cheating, committing adultery was a crime, and these type of this type of strict rules and regulations and this different mentality, the antiquated mentality of the past, is what kept our great grandparents and our grandparents in more stable relationships. And of course, things weren't perfect back then. There was a lot of terrible things that happened back then. Do not get me wrong, but it seems to me as is like the decadence of society has begun in the 2010s. I am 100% grateful that I was born in the 1990s and I experienced the early 2000s before all this electronic and social media political bullshit existed. I wish I was this age as I was now back in the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s, because then I wouldn't. Women were different back then. Women weren't cruel. Women weren't judgmental. Women weren't vainglorious. Women weren't trying to sleep around with every guy that they saw on the block. For the most part, women actually wanted guys primarily because of their economic status, their intelligence, and who they were on the human being on the inside. But today now that's 110% dead. And um, you know, my, everyone has an ideal partner that they want to be with. My ideal partner would to be with a beautiful Hispanic, um, tanned brunette type Castilian woman in my life, But, like I said before, in the Western world, even in like African American, Hispanic, Filipino communities, it's becoming really bad now. We're quoted as being the most religious, most conservative group of people, but yet even we as well are falling into the decadence, the social decadence. And the one thing that scares me the most is that when if I do get old and if I do get to be my 70s, 80s, or 90s, that no one will remember me when I pass away. And we all want to be remembered in some way. That's why we have kids. We want to carry on the legacy, the lineage. But since we live in a society that has allowed true force loneliness and inceldom to propagate, since we allowed the society that we live in to become sinful, to become um, cruel and sadistic and out for themselves and self-absorbed, we're seeing firsthand the utter the utter chaotic destruction that us men who should have been born in the past, but unfortunately our souls were implanted into human bodies in this day and age. We are witnesses. We are the observers, but we're not silent. We're speaking it out, and we are being demonized. We are being attacked, and we're being contradicted by those who've never experienced what we've experienced. Women will tell us, you need to do this and that. Guys will tell us, oh, just be a little bit more confident. But, we all know that that's all lies. Of course, the good looking girl or guy is going to say, I just, I just ooze confidence. You ooze confidence. You are imbued with confidence is because you've had all these positive experiences. But if you're a man like me who hasn't had those experiences, who's had to deal with true force loneliness ever since they hit puberty, you feel horrible every single day. Your good health, your food, water, shelter, clothes on your back become camouflaged to the aspect of true force loneliness. And that's what I want to talk about. But I'm going to end this video here. Like I said, it's just going to be a short video. I will publish more videos soon and take